Welcome to Think in English. Today, the topic is waking up late. Listen to this easy English conversation and relax. Some mornings begin very quietly, and then suddenly everything changes.
Yes, that morning, my room was quiet, my blanket was warm, and I still felt sleepy.
It just felt like a normal morning at first.
Yeah, I opened my eyes slowly and looked at the clock beside my bed.
And then everything changed.
Yes, it was already after 8 o'clock. I usually wake up at 7, so I was very surprised.
Sometimes when we see a time like that, we look again because we do not believe it.
That is true. I looked at the clock again, and then I looked at my phone too.
But your phone showed the same time.
Yes, then I knew it was real. Suddenly, I was not sleepy anymore. That was the moment the morning stopped feeling normal.
The whole room probably felt different after that.
Yes, a minute before, everything felt calm and comfortable. But after I saw the time, I felt nervous.
Because you knew you were late.
Exactly, my heart started beating faster. And I threw the blanket away very quickly.
And that was the moment when your difficult morning really began.
Yes, only a few seconds earlier, I wanted to stay in bed. Now I only wanted to stand up and move as fast as possible.
After that, your alarm was the first thing you checked, right?
Yes, I picked up my phone and looked at my alarm immediately. I wanted to know why it did not wake me up.
Sometimes we feel a little angry at the alarm first.
That is true. For a moment, I thought, why did my alarm not ring this morning?
But then you checked your phone more carefully.
Yes, and then I saw that the alarm had rung. It rang at 7 o'clock, just like every morning.
So the alarm worked. But it still did not wake you up.
Exactly, that made me feel even worse. I did not know if I turned it off in my sleep or if I just did not hear it.
Maybe you were very tired because of the night before.
I think so. The night before, I stayed awake too late. I was looking at my phone and watching videos.
Then you probably slept much later than usual.
Yes, I told myself I would sleep for only a few minutes. But then it became very late.
I think many people do that sometimes.
Yes, at that moment, I started blaming myself a little. I knew the alarm was not really the problem.
The real problem started the night before.
Exactly, while I was holding my phone, I knew that staying awake too late was the real reason.
After that, you probably did not stay in bed very long.
No, not at all. The moment I put my phone down, I threw the blanket away and got out of bed very quickly.
But your body was probably still tired.
Yes, that was the strange part. My mind was awake because I was worried, but my body still felt heavy and sleepy.
So you had to move quickly, even though you did not feel ready.
Exactly, I stood up too fast. And for a second, I just froze. Everything felt a bit dizzy.
That can happen when you wake up suddenly.
Yes, I stood beside my bed for a moment. Then I hurried to the bathroom.
And everything probably felt faster than usual.
Much faster. Usually in the morning, I walk slowly and take my time. But that morning, I was moving very quickly.
Because you felt like you were already late.
Yes, every second felt important. While I was walking to the bathroom, I was already thinking about how much time I had lost.
It is difficult to stay calm when you feel that way.
That is true. I wanted to slow down, but I could not. My whole morning suddenly felt rushed. And I knew I had to keep moving. From that moment, everything started going too fast.
When you went into the bathroom, did you look at yourself in the mirror?
Yes, I did. I turned on the light, looked in the mirror, and saw that I looked very tired.
You probably still looked half asleep.
Exactly. My eyes were still small. My hair was a mess. And I looked much more tired than usual.
That is not a good feeling when you are already late.
No, it is not. I wanted to feel awake immediately. But I still looked like I had just left my bed.
So you washed your face.
Yes, I used cold water because I wanted to wake up faster.
Emma, did it help at all?
A little. The cold water made me feel more awake. But I still felt tired inside.
Because your body needed more time.
Exactly. But I knew I did not have more time. I looked in the mirror one more time and told myself to hurry.
Sometimes we want to stop for a minute. But when we are late, we cannot.
That is true. I wanted a slow and quiet morning. But that morning was already moving too fast.
After that, you had to get ready very quickly.
Yes, I brushed my teeth, changed my clothes, and did everything much faster than usual.
Was it difficult to choose what to wear?
Very difficult. Usually I think about my clothes for a minute. But that morning I did not have time.
So you just picked the first thing you saw.
Exactly. I opened my closet, took some clothes, and put them on very quickly.
Did everything look okay?
Not really. My shirt was not my favorite. And nothing looked quite right.
But you did not have time to change again.
No, I did not. I looked at myself for a second and thought, it is okay, I just need to leave now.
When we are late, we stop thinking about small things.
That is true. On a normal morning, I want everything to look nice. But that morning, I only wanted to be ready as fast as possible.
And you were probably starting to feel a little frustrated too.
Yes, everything felt too fast, and I was getting more nervous every minute.
After you finished getting ready, did you have time for breakfast?
No, I did not. Usually I eat something every morning. But that day there was no time.
So you had to leave without breakfast.
Almost. I went into the kitchen for a moment and looked at the table.
You were still hoping you had enough time.
Yes, I wanted to sit down for just a few minutes and eat something small.
But then you looked at the time again.
Exactly. I looked at the clock in the kitchen. And I knew I could not stay.
So what did you do?
I only drank a little water and took one quick drink of milk.
That is not very much for breakfast.
No, it is not. I was still hungry, but I told myself that I could eat something later.
Even though you were not sure if you would really have time later.
Yes, I knew the morning was already going badly. And I thought the rest of the day might be busy too.
Sometimes when we skip breakfast, the whole day feels a little different.
That is true. While I was leaving the kitchen, I already felt hungry, tired, and late at the same time. And I knew the day was not starting well.
And just when you were ready to leave, you probably could not find something important.
Exactly. I wanted to leave the house. But then I could not find my phone.
That is always the worst moment when you are already late.
Yes, I looked on my bed, on my desk, and in my bag, but it was not there.
Then you probably started feeling even more nervous.
Much more nervous. I was already late, and now I felt like I was losing even more time.
And then the keys too, right?
Yes, after I found my phone under my blanket, I could not find my keys.
So one problem finished, and another problem started.
Exactly. I looked in my jacket, in my bag, and on the table near the door.
But they were not there.
No, for a moment, I stopped and tried to remember where I put them the night before.
Were you able to remember?
Yes, finally, I found them in the kitchen beside my glass of milk.
By then, your morning was probably moving very fast.
Yes, I took my phone, my keys, and my bag, and then I ran to the door because I knew I could not lose another minute.
After that, you finally left the house.
Yes, I opened the door, went outside very quickly, and started walking as fast as I could.
What was the morning like outside?
It was bright and quiet. The weather was nice, and other people looked calm.
That must have felt strange. Because you did not feel calm at all.
Exactly. Everything outside looked normal, but inside, I felt very rushed.
Were you looking at the time again while you were walking?
Yes, I looked at my phone again and again. Every time I looked at it, I felt more nervous.
Because you knew you were getting later.
Yes, I tried to walk faster, but it still felt like I was moving too slowly.
Sometimes when we are late, even a short road feels very long.
That is true. Usually, the way to school feels easy, but that morning it felt much longer than usual.
And all the time, you were hoping maybe you were not too late.
Exactly. I kept thinking, maybe I still have enough time. Maybe everything will be okay. But inside, I knew I was already late.
While you were walking, did you start thinking about why this happened?
Yes, after a few minutes, I stopped thinking only about being late. I started thinking about the night before.
Because you already knew the real reason.
Exactly. The night before, I stayed awake much too late.
What were you doing?
I was lying in bed and looking at my phone. First, I watched a few videos. Then I looked at messages. And after that, I still did not sleep.
And you probably kept saying, just 5 more minutes.
Yes, that is exactly what I said. But 5 minutes became 10. And then 10 became 30.
I think many people know that feeling.
Yes, at night, it feels easy to stay awake. But in the morning, it feels very different.
So while you were walking, you started feeling a little sorry.
I did. I knew the alarm was not really the problem. The problem was that I did not sleep early enough.
That is not a nice thing to think about when you were already having a difficult morning.
No, but I also knew it was true. And while I was walking, I knew that the problem started the night before.
And then you finally arrived.
Yes, after walking as fast as I could, I finally got there.
Were other people already there?
Yeah, everyone was already inside. Some people were talking, some people were working, and everything had already started.
That is always an uncomfortable moment.
It is. I stood outside for a few seconds, just looking at the door. I didn't really want to go in.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Exactly. I knew everyone would see that I was late.
Were you hoping maybe nobody would notice?
Yes, a little. I wanted to walk in quietly and sit down without anyone looking at me.
But that usually does not happen.
No, when I opened the door, a few people looked at me right away.
That probably made you feel even more nervous.
Yes, my face felt hot, and suddenly I did not know what to say.
But you still had to walk inside.
Exactly. I took a deep breath, walked in slowly, and told myself that the only thing I could do now was keep going. This was the part one didn't want to face.
So when you walked in, you probably said sorry right away.
Yes, I looked at everyone and said, "I'm sorry I'm late."
Were you afraid that people would be angry?
A little, yes. On the way there, I thought people might be upset or maybe ask many questions.
But that did not happen.
No, most people were very kind. One person smiled at me, and another person said, "It's okay."
That must have felt a little better.
It really did. A few minutes earlier, I felt like the whole day was going badly. But after that, I started to feel calmer.
Sometimes we imagine something much worse than reality.
Exactly. In my head, I thought everyone would be looking at me all morning. But after a few minutes, everything felt more normal again.
And you realized that one difficult morning does not ruin the whole day.
Yes, I was still tired, and I was still a little embarrassed. But I knew the day could still become better.
That is a nice feeling after such a stressful morning.
Yes, and while I sat down and finally relaxed, I started thinking less about being late and more about what I could do better tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow could start differently.
After everything that happened, did you think about tomorrow?
Yes, when the day became calmer, I started thinking about what I wanted to change.
Because you did not want the same morning again.
Exactly. I knew I did not want to wake up late like that one more time.
So what did you decide to do?
First, I decided to go to bed earlier. I knew that staying awake too late was the biggest problem.
And maybe you also wanted to use your phone less at night.
Yes, I told myself that tonight I would stop looking at my phone before bed.
Did you think about your alarm too?
I did. I decided to set 2 alarms instead of 1.
That sounds like a good idea.
I also wanted to prepare my clothes, my bag, and my keys the night before.
So the next morning could feel slower and easier.
Exactly. I wanted a quiet morning again, not another morning full of stress and rushing.
Sometimes, one bad morning can teach us something important.
Yes, that day was difficult, but it also helped me understand what I needed to change. And when I thought about tomorrow, I finally felt a little hopeful again.
Thank you for listening to Think in English. We hope you enjoyed this conversation. See you in the next video.